What is going on, guys? It is Big Mike here. We are back today with another video, and today we're going to be doing a Q&A video. I've never really done a video like this because usually people just ask me questions on stream and I answer them, but I was interested, so I dropped a tweet asking you guys if you could ask me any questions, and you guys did. So let's get right into it. With our first question, we have the boy Zombie Dog asking, who's winning ZWC and who are you rooting for? Be honest. Who's winning ZWC? That's a tough question. We got a lot of skilled players in there. We got Zombie Dog, who's good at round SRs. We've got Kooky and Hole, who are insane at Easter egg speedruns. Got Revivers, who's good at high rounds. Ganon, who's good at speedruns. There's just so many people I can't even count. But if I got to pick one person who I think is going to win ZWC, I'm gonna have to go with Hole. I'm sorry, Zombie Dog, but my vote's going in with Hole. But who am I rooting for? I am rooting for Kooky. All right, let's move on to the next question. Coming from Scotty Dogs 007, otherwise known as Acid. How did you get your name Big Mike? Like, you could have been the average Mike or the small Mike. So why the Big Mike? Well, I'll just say the story of how I got my name. Well, like my whole name, the Big Mike 24. Back when I was in 5th grade, I was thinking about a new Instagram username. I was Mikester524 at the time, and I wanted to do something new. And I've had people in the past call me Big Mike, and I thought it was a cool name. My favorite number is 24, and I think Big Mike 24 was taken, so I just added the in front. Even though I'm not really that big, now I am a little bit. I gained like 40 pounds freshman year of college, but before I was more like the medium Mike 24. But you know, Big Mike sounds cool, so we got to stick with it. All right, next question. We have Bancy asking, are you and Nick Zombies dating? Now, this is a very interesting question, Bancy. I know we were on a podcast together. I know we're homies, but I am a straight man and I have a girlfriend. So me and Nick are not dating. All right, next question. What is your honest opinion on different hoods and gangs in America? And do you think they could ever coexist peacefully? Well, I don't know much about hoods and gangs in America, but I know it's about like brotherhood and just having a family. I know a lot of gangs do bad stuff, but I think having a group where you have a bunch of friends together, I think that's good. And, you know, I really hope that these gangs can coexist peacefully, but I don't think that's possible because they're rivals and I don't think they're going to be able to get over their differences. Interesting question, Hassan. Completely off topic, but I like it. All right, next question from Fleur, memeing with the typical Zombies players questions. Then he skips it. And he goes on, real question is, do you take serious interest in any other game or sport? Yes, I do. I love baseball more than anything. As a kid, or I'm still a kid, but when I was younger, I played a lot of sports. I played soccer, baseball, basketball, flag football. I did karate, I did swimming, I did everything. And out of those, my favorite had to be baseball. So once I got into 4th or 5th grade, I completely stopped the other sports and just focused on baseball. I'm a pitcher. I love it so much. I would practice every single day, going to baseball practice, going to pitching practice, throwing on my own. Pretty much every weekend I would be at a tournament or some sort of game. I played baseball in high school. I was on the freshman team freshman year, JV sophomore year, then varsity for junior and senior year, even though we didn't really get to play senior year because of COVID. But yeah, I'm super interested in baseball. I love watching it. I love talking about it. And if any of you guys are baseball lovers, comment down below. Let's have a talk. All right, next question is from Carol. What motivated you to start the podcast, and do you believe you'd be able to get some big zombies YouTubers on it in the future? Well, I like talking, as you guys know, because I'm a streamer and I'm always talking on there. And I wanted to have a different platform to actually discuss specific topics. Instead of just having regular conversation, I wanted to talk about more specific things and go in depth on it. And me and Nick Zombies, we are friends, but we were talking about it. We were saying, hey, what if we started a podcast together and we talked about zombies, possibly some other topics, and just had some fun with it. And then we waited a few months and then talked about it again, and we decided to get it started. And it went really well. We had our first podcast and went great. People loved it. We started to get guests on and it went really well. And I enjoyed it so much. Unfortunately, Nick decided to leave after a while. I don't think he was as interested in it anymore, but I'm still doing the podcast. I still love it. And it's so fun to be able to talk to people. I've met so many new people because of this. And I feel like I've been able to reach the competitive side of the community and the casual side. And I always wanted to bridge that gap between them. So that's one of the bigger reasons why I started it. And do you think you'll be able to get big zombies YouTubers on it? I do. So I've already talked to Greg. And after like my first few podcasts, Greg talked to me and said, hey, I would be down to come on the podcast whenever. So I'm going to be able to get Greg on. I'd be super interested in having some other big zombies YouTubers on it because although they play the same games as us, they're just in a completely different section of the community. The things they think about, the things they like, the maps they like, pretty much everything is completely different. And they have a different mindset as well as YouTube creators rather than Twitch streamers. So I think it'd be really interesting. And my plan was to grow a little bit bigger. And once I grew bigger, then I would be able to reach out to these other people. All right. The next question is from Carol again. Despite COVID-19 and the pandemic being a really bad thing worldwide, do you feel it has benefited you, and how has it benefited you? Your life, your Twitch and YouTube channel, your family. So COVID-19 has fucked me and also helped me. It's weird. I know overall COVID is horrible. It's hurt many people, killed many people. It's a horrible thing. But in my specific case, I didn't have the worst time with it because I'm in a good situation, luckily. But COVID, that exploded my Twitch channel. Back when COVID started, I had about 1,000 followers, and now I'm at 4.8k. So I took a huge jump after streaming for about 2 years to get to about 1k followers, and then within a year I got from 1k to 4.8k. So I was able to stream every day because I wasn't working as much. I didn't have school, obviously, because it was in the summer, and I just streamed every morning. And I was able to grow a really good audience that I wasn't able to do before. Before, I was only able to stream a couple times per week and only for a short amount of time. But with COVID, I was able to stream consistently. When I first started during COVID, it was during school, but I would stream like every day around 3 p.m. or so when school was done. Then we moved into the summer. I went to early streams around 9 a.m. and I was able to stream then. And just having that consistent stream time helped me grow so much. So it really did benefit my Twitch stream. And I met so many new people. So I'm really grateful for that. But with COVID, I had a tough time in college. At college, I went there, I stayed in the dorm, but all the classes were online, unfortunately. And I know one of the future questions is going to ask about that, but I didn't have the greatest time with online school. So mentally, it didn't do great for me, COVID. Physically, I gained weight. I can't blame it all on COVID, but I was less active because of having online school. But it did benefit my Twitch and my YouTube. All right, thank you for the question. But let's move on to Knifing King. He dropped a few questions here. So, origin of your Mustang. All right. Well, I am really into cars right now. And back when I got my license was around the time when I started getting into cars a lot more. So, when I got my license, my parents didn't want me to get a car yet, but I was working and I saved up some money. So then eventually we started looking at cars. So there's a place by my house that has a lot of used cars. I would go there every few days, just checking it out. I would constantly be looking online. Every time I found a car that I liked, I would bring it up to my dad and he would say no every time. And yeah, it was unfortunate. I couldn't understand why. And then we finally found my Mustang and it was super low mileage, 53,000 miles. Super clean. Everything was good about it. We took a test drive on it and my dad actually said yes. So I paid for half of the car. He paid the other half and I got my Mustang. All right. plans for future life. So right now I'm in undergraduate school. So that's the first 4 years of college. I'm at UC Davis. My major is neurobiology, physiology, and behavior. And I'm liking it so far. I'm really into the sciences and I'm excited to keep going with that. And the reason I picked that major is because that would be a good major to help me get into med school after. So yes, I do want to go to med school after my undergrad. Med school would also be 4 years of school. And then after that, I could become a doctor. I'm not exactly sure what kind of doctor I want to be right now. I'm interested in sports medicine, also pediatrics, and possibly psychiatry. What do you want to be known as? So I just want to be someone that people can enjoy. I want people to enjoy my content. I want to be seen as somebody who is welcoming, who's friendly, and who's just a genuinely nice person. When I'm on Twitch, I want to create good relationships with the people that are watching my stream. I don't want us to be distant. That's the good thing about Twitch. We don't have to be distant. We have live interaction. I want to be close with the people that watch me. I just want to be known as like the friendly guy kind of in the community. All right, and who is your biggest influencer? That is an interesting question. I mean, I don't really have influencers right now, but the people that I was watching when I first started streaming on Twitch, I was watching a lot of the Smith Plays, and I think I was also watching Avery. So both of those guys, I really enjoyed their content, and they kind of made me want to start streaming. All right, opinions on in-person learning compared to learning on Zoom. All right, good question, Mango. I was going over this a little bit earlier, but I've always liked school. I don't like doing homework and stuff and all the work that comes along with it, but I do like going to school. From like kindergarten all the way to the end of high school, I loved going to school, seeing friends, learning stuff. I like math a lot. I like science and some other elective classes I had fun with too, and I enjoyed it. As soon as we transitioned to online school with Zoom, I just started to lose motivation rapidly. I instantly didn't want to do my work. I didn't want to go to class. I didn't have any interest in learning anymore. So I think learning on Zoom is just, you're so distant. There's so much distance between you and the teacher and all the people learning with you. And you don't have to have your camera on most of the time. A lot of the work just feels like busy work. And just not being in that classroom situation completely ruined school for me. So I'm really excited to go back to in-person learning in the fall for college. So next question is from Mitch, or xblizzard22. Next guests you would like to have on the podcast. So Niraj. For you guys who don't know, Niraj is a Darius player, super good Darius player. I've been trying to have him on the podcast for a while, and we weren't able to make that happen, but he reached out to me a few weeks ago and said, hey, I'm ready to come on the podcast whenever. I think he's going to be a super interesting guest, and I'm really excited for that. Some other people I want to have on the podcast, I want to have Fleur. I think he's a super entertaining person, and we could have some good conversation. I want to have Greg FPS because he volunteered a while ago, and it would be interesting to get a YouTube creator perspective. And also, I'm going to get Extreme and Venoms on the podcast. I put out a poll a long time ago if I should have Extreme and Venoms on the podcast. Overwhelmingly, people voted yes. And I've been talking to them lately, and I'm going to have them on soon. Next question. Will you ever expand yourself past zombies into other games? So the thing is, I'm not opposed to it, but I don't find it super likely. I've never really been super interested in any other games. When I got my PC, I got it to play COD World War II. And ever since then, I've just been pretty much playing COD games. Zombies, multiplayer, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not opposed to finding a new game, but I just don't think at the moment there's any other games that interest me. And if there's no other games that interest me, then I'm not going to stream them. But if something comes out that I do like, I'd be 100% open to streaming it. All right, next question. We got Mr. Power asking, what's your favorite map in B01 and why is that? That is such a tough question for me because I play 3 B01 maps all the time. I play Kino, I play Ascension, and I play Darius. Out of those maps, it's really hard to pick what my favorite is. So I really enjoy the trading part of Ascension. I hate the early rounds. The high round strat's okay. Then there's Kino. I don't like the early rounds that much, but they're better than Ascension. I really enjoy hoarding up in the fire trap room, making points, all that kind of stuff. So I do enjoy that map a lot. And then Derice. I think Derice is the best map of all of those because how interesting the strat is, how many ways there are to optimize the map. But out of those three, my favorite, like if I had to pick one map to play for the rest of my life, it's gotta be Ascension. Just something about that map, it just keeps bringing me back, and I really enjoy playing it. So there's your answer. All right. This question, man. Nick Zombies asks, why are you so bad at Ascension? You have 3,234 hours, which is 134.75 days on B01, yet you don't have instas, and your PB is only 140. And Shane's Creation says, we need to know. Well, you know, I really don't have an answer to that question, Nick Zombies. You know, I try my best every day on Ascension to go as high as I can, but every goddamn game I make a new mistake. So there's a game, I make a mistake, I'm like, okay, it can't get any worse than that. Next game, it gets fucking worse. Dude, I die at the PhD lander while trading when the lander is there and all I had to do was press F. I die in the pap room because I make a bad decision and try to hoard up in there. I die because I shoot the crossbow and it fails, and then I don't shoot it again. I mess up a weapon swap, and then I get a T-gun fail on my last shot. There's just, I die because I run into the wall at Mule when I'm trying to jump off the edge. Like, there's so many things that I do, and I feel like I'm going to keep doing something wrong every game. But eventually, I have to run out of these stupid mistakes, and I'm going to get those instas. We're close. 140 is close. I'm telling you, Nick. Soon, I will get those instas and that 200. But, yeah, it's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. Just got to be ready at all times. All right. Panch is asking, will I beat Adopted? 100% you will. So, the Shino Numa record is 202 right now. Super slow game, awful game, but it's played so long ago. It was played a long time ago, and nobody's been able to beat it. And I think of all the people to beat it, it's going to be Panch. He's going to be the first one. I know it. I know it. So, I'm expecting that out of you really soon, Panch. And I'll be holding you to that. Next question, we have Raspers. This is kind of similar to something we had before, but opinions on in-person learning compared to learning on Zoom. You have never went over this before in detail. We need details. So I already talked about this before, but I strongly dislike in-person. I strongly dislike learning on Zoom. And for me, as a good student, it's hard. I can't imagine for people who are struggling already in in-person learning. They're going to have such a hard time learning on Zoom because it's just so much easier to go up to a teacher and get help in person. It's easier to get help from your friends in person. On Zoom, you can't do that as well. And people that were behind are just going to keep falling behind. And you can't see their faces. You can't try to see how they're feeling, how they're doing. And most likely, the kids are going to be muted too. So there's just not that connection. And I just think that it's bad for pretty much everyone. All right. From Luke Arcada, he asks, who's your favorite music artist and genre? So I listen to a lot of different people, but if I had to pick a few favorites, I gotta say I love Mac Miller a lot. I used to have Logic as my favorite because I listened to him so much, but not as much recently. So right now, if I had to pick, I'd probably say my favorites are Mac Miller and Juicy J. Juicy J goes hard. I swear every single one of his songs is amazing. He has so many good albums. And then Mac Miller, I love his stuff too. And my favorite genre has got to be hip hop and rap, whatever you want to call that. I listen to a lot of genres though. I like EDM. I like classical. I like pretty much every kind of genre besides country. So if you guys have any album requests you want to drop in my stream with the channel points, feel free. Just make sure it's not country because I'm going to reject that shit. All right. Did you know that cashews come from a fruit? Soul? I did not. All right. Space Monkey asks, do it fart? It do. It do. Okay, Space Monkey has another question. Very good question here. Women, are you for or against? I'm going to have to say I am for, because without them, we would not be able to have more children and expand our world. All right, next question. Twizzy, who is the best B01 Zombies player overall? So, if you asked me that question right now and I had to give you an answer in 5 seconds, I would say Furret. 100%. He has the endurance, he has the skill, he has good movement, good decision-making skills. He has everything, and he's just an insane player. If I had to have people behind him, I would probably go with Slayer, because he's just insanely fast. I don't think he has as much endurance as Furret, but he's super fast and super skilled, and he's got the Doris world record, and I'm sure he's going to beat that eventually, and I bet you he's going to beat the Keynote world record soon too. All right, Unpulverized asks, what is the best Eminem album and what is the worst Eminem album? So, best and worst, that's tough to say. So I'd prefer to say my most favorite and my least favorite. So I think my favorite Eminem album is the Marshall Mathers LP. So that's one of his OG albums. That's his second album, I believe. And his flow is amazing. His rhyme schemes are amazing. And it's just a unique sound that you don't really hear anything else. And I feel like nothing beats that. I really enjoy that album, and I could go back to it anytime and listen. And my least favorite Eminem album, although I don't think it's bad, I'm going to say Revival. I know everybody hates that album, but I actually like it. I do enjoy the album a lot, but I don't think it compares to any of his other albums. All right, I think that's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you everybody for tuning in today. If you guys haven't already, drop a like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Let me know if you want me to do another Q&A video. I'm down to do these monthly or every few months. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Also, just come on the stream, ask me any questions you want there too. But thank you guys once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.